So I'm gonna get into this next story. And this one I found a little funny, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to funny comedians, of course, I said Eddie Murphy's one of my favorite comedians. These next two people have made huge impacts on the culture when it comes to comedy, and that's Katt Williams and Kevin Hart. Those two people been beefing for a nice amount of time now. Usually when people come at Kevin Hart's jokes, you can look at it and say, maybe they hating. But there's also a contingent of comedians. I said, nah, they're pretty funny. The consensus is they're funnier than you, Kevin, i.e., Katt Williams. Now, do I know that Katt Williams fumbled the bag on that started this whole thing? Possibly. But I don't know everybody's situation. And from what I hear, his work ethic is up there. It's high. But do I know whether he fumbled the bag on that? That I don't know. I know Kevin Hart is a hard worker. But somebody asked Katt Williams about how would a versus go between the two of them. And I have the clip right here. Let me pull it up for y'all.
For Comedy Hype News, I'm Jay Will. Katt Williams has finally made his return to stand-up comedy, performing in arenas all over the country as a part of his World War III comedy tour. In order to promote that tour, Katt recently participated in an exclusive interview with radio personality Persia Nicole, where he was asked if he would be up to doing a versus battle between himself and Kevin Hart.
I started versus. Not come to me with versus. The first versus ever promoted was Steve Harvey versus Katt Williams. It was the underground king of comedy versus and sold as versus. So we don't need to ask me if I would have any interest in things that I am the originator of.
So I don't know if you guys know, but previously, early on in Katt Williams' career, he had kind of like he had problems with like Steve Harvey early on in his career, and it led up to like them getting on stage, I guess trying to do jokes against each other, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they actually went up there and did jokes against each other versus kind of style. And this was like when early on when Katt Williams was really starting to make his rise in the comedy. Steve Harvey still had the mantle of a king of comedy. In my opinion, that's a little stretch because Steve, he's funny, but king of comedy? Even in his, I mean, maybe for his time, but you know, in totality, I don't know why I would rank any of those guys who were kings of comedy minus Bernie Mac, because he was just funny. Bernie was, I would put him up there on the list of like those guys. But let me get back into the story.
Beefing is my lane. It's almost cheating for me. I have over 10 specials, so I don't have to pick but 2 jokes from each special, and I've already deaded anybody whose last name ain't Pryor.
Katt would go on to imply that he would be anyone, including Hart, with his previous body of work. When Katt claimed that the first versus was between himself and Steve Harvey, he's referring to a New Year's Eve show in 2008 when the two were scheduled to perform together. In a 2009 interview, Katt explained that he wasn't originally supposed to be a part of the show and was only added as a late addition in order to sell tickets. On the day of the show, Katt would issue out a statement directed towards Harvey.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to you, because you didn't have to accept this. You could have just said, no, I'm not going to do it. You have been the king of comedy as long as we've had one. Matter of fact, the whole phrase, king of comedy, can be attributed to you. And I am honored that you would allow me to share the same stage as you. And I don't know why people made this a championship bout. And I don't know why you was okay with that. And I want to apologize for what's going to happen.
Who is this nigga?
But the second that you
Jim
get
Jones.
off stage, the second that you get off stage, I need you to understand that that's your final time as the king of comedy.
Harvey would then retaliate and respond on Jamie Foxx's then radio show, The Foxhole. Throughout the years, Kevin Hart and Katt Williams have not seen eye to eye, and this information is publicly known. In the past, Katt has called Kevin a Hollywood puppet and has even challenged him to either a rap cipher, comedy battle, boxing match, or basketball game live on social media. The rivalry between Kevin Hart and Katt Williams seems to be ignited once again. Now, if you remember when Versus started to gain popularity during quarantine in spring of 2020, Comedy Hype tweeted a poll that asked who would win in a live Instagram roast between the two comedic legends. Many chimed in to give their thoughts on who they thought would be victorious. This conversation even branched out to others giving their suggestions on who should compete in a Versus comedy battle. Damon Wayans vs. Dave Chappelle was another battle that caused excitement among the culture. However, with the history that both Katt and Kevin have, this may be the battle that everyone truly wants to see. What do you guys think? Would you like to see Katt Williams and Kevin Hart face off in a comedy versus battle? And who do you think will win? Let's talk about it more in the comments below.
So that's pretty much the end of that video right there, where it gets into their situation. And side note, shout out to Foxhole Radio, man. I don't know if anybody else used to listen to that, but that used to be great radio at one point in time. But I would definitely think Katt Williams would beat Kevin Hart in a versus. If you had to go joke for joke, role for role, what is Kevin Hart's most iconic roles compared to, like, does he have a character that he played that's bigger than Katt Williams being a pimp? He turned that into like a whole character that he ran with to make himself blow up even more. He made diss songs as a pimp. I don't know if people ever heard of that, but you know, Katt Williams is really talented. He can rap, he can do all of that. I mean, I would definitely take him in a one-on-one versus Kevin Hart. But if it came to totality of success and money and things like that, which, you know, money shouldn't be the objective of the conversation, but Kevin Hart got the ball and ran with it. He did not fumble the bag. Whether you think he's funny or he's not, he's successful. He owns a lot of his production. And as a black man, trust me, I got to salute him for that. He's definitely killing it in business. Whether you could, Katt Williams said he's a puppet. I don't know if I'm going to fully say he's a puppet, but, you know, when you're playing certain circles and you're trying to do certain things, sometimes you can't be as abrasive. Not everybody can be successful in business acting and maneuvering like they're 50 Cent. He's a rare breed. You know what I'm saying? He's a rare breed. And even then, nobody talks about his work ethic because he puts the work behind anything he tries to do. It would be interesting to see. I definitely would probably prefer to see Dave Chappelle and Damon Wayans in a versus more than I would Katt Williams and Kevin Hart. Because those two guys are funnier than these two guys. I love them, but both of them are funnier in my opinion. It's your boy DJTheParkBoy, and I'm here with a special product for you. I got some Delta 8 weed from JK Distro, and I'm saying it's amazing. It's clean, smokable, and the best part is they deliver it right to your door. Because of the 2018 Farm Bill, it's now legal for them to have Delta 8 weed sent through the mail. That's right. And if you use promo code FLOSS1, you can get some clean, smokable weed sent to your door direct. You have options. You go right there to jkdistro.com. You look at all the strands they have, which is a lot. You can even get you some edibles. You can get you some wine. Anything in between you can think of. You put in promo code FLOSS1, you're going to save you 20%. So go ahead, hop on that now. Make sure it's in the description.